Keep your wellness routine going strong all summer. Kachava's new travel packs help you stick to your daily ritual even when you're on the go. Just one packet of Kachava's all-in-one nutrition shake provides complete nutrition wherever you are, with 25 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, greens, adaptogens, and more. Simplify your daily ritual. Go to Kachava.com and use code SMOOTHIE for 15% off. That's KACHAVA.com, code SMOOTHIE.
Hello and welcome back to True Crime Guys Podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and you bet your ass Andy's here.
Oh, I'm here, Michael.
That's right. It's another morning episode.
I know. It's so crispy out today.
I love these morning episodes, Andy. We're gonna make a habit out of this in the summer. We might
have to.
We might have to.
It's one of those like old man things where like before it gets too hot out.
That's right. Listen, around here, you work between 7 and 9 or 7 and 9.
Yeah, it's the only cool times. It's like that planet on like the Chronicles of Riddick where the sun is moving so fast. You look at that one window where you got
them two in the middle of summer in the south. You got 4 good hours to work outside, man. You better get your ass out there. You got to split it up, but guys, before we get into this doozy of a case today, a case entitled "Too Disturbing" for Netflix, and you're gonna see why. But there is tons of interrogation footage for this case. There's lots of audio. We'll be posting it most likely on our social media, but I probably used a few clips in this episode as well. I never know what I'm going to do in post, Andy. You know, I never know what post Michael's going to do. you never freaking know.
Future Michael, come on.
Right. But we have put a link to the documentary by The Decoder on YouTube right below the description of this episode. Very well done. Very well done. In my opinion, the best source on this case out here, until we get done with this episode, of course.
Yeah, then we'll just put ourselves just above it.
Exactly, right? I mean, come on. But guys, before we get into it, I got to remind you about Patreon. Patreon.com/truecrimeguys is the best way to support the show. And for just $3 a month, you can get access to these episodes early, ad-free, with bonus content. That's right. That's patreon.com/truecrimeguys. But today, guys, we're talking about the case of Liese Dodd. Now, in this documentary, for some reason, the narrator says Lisa the entire time, and they're fine with it, I guess. And you can kind of tell it's not AI, but maybe it is. Maybe it is an AI voice
it just
reading
sounds
a script.
Very human.
It does, because it's reading a human script,
Yeah.
obviously. Like I said, the documentary, it is well done. But for some reason, the narrator kept saying Lisa, and then anytime someone close to her was interviewed, they said Liese.
Yeah.
So I would think, people that call her by her name in real life would know.
Yeah.
So I'm going Liese.
Yeah. I thought that too, because I was like, they're not calling her like a nickname. It's like, that's her name. Because when you saw it spelled too, you're like, that's not
Liese.
Yeah, that's not Lisa. That's Liese.
That's Liese. But in June of 2022, 22-year-old Liese Dodd, she was 8 months pregnant at the time, was found brutally murdered inside her apartment in Alton, Illinois. And investigators say her boyfriend, Deundrea Holloway, killed her and her unborn child in one of the most horrific ways.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrific, guys. Like this case, you understand why it was dubbed too graphic for Netflix. So that is your warning. And I guess we'll just get into it, Andy.
Well, see you on the other side, guys.
Let's do it.
They fight, like they used to fight all the time, and it would be loud fighting, and we actually had to call the cops on them before, because I don't know who it was, but somebody picked something up and slammed it against the wall. We assumed it was one of them throwing each other. Last night it was different. It was like 9:30-ish, and their front door was cracked, which is unusual. They don't.
9:30 p.m. last night? Okay.
They don't usually leave their front door cracked, and it was, and that was a little weird. And I heard like muffled yelling, like not screaming, but yelling in a way, kind of like in pain. Like you just like snipped your finger with a scissor and you had to put some over your mouth so you wouldn't scream too loud. That's what it sounded like. And then all of a sudden, the screaming got really, really loud and really intense.
All right, so at the time of this tragedy, Liese was living in Alton, which is in Madison County in Illinois, which is a suburb of St. Louis. It's right on the line of Missouri and Illinois. And St. Louis is where she was born. And though it has a far higher crime rate than that of Illinois as a whole, Alton, Little Madison County, is where she felt at home.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just, you know, people say bad shit about our city, but I feel at home here, Andy.
Right. It made me think of Shameless. You know the show Shameless?
Yeah.
Where it's like that little family is just like shitty neighborhood. Everybody's shitty. It's all shitty, but they all look out for each other. It's like we know the crime we have.
Yeah.
Don't fuck around with our crime.
Yeah. Get out of here. It's ours.
Yeah, we know what we're doing.
But still, Liese, she was looking forward to the future. And, she's on her porch at just before 2 p.m. on June 8th. She's scrolling on her phone. She's looking out, into the lawn, into the driveway. And she's also smoking. What do we feel about that, Andy? I feel irresponsible not bringing that up. The documentary just ignores it. It kind of sucks.
It does. But
sucks a lot.
That's not the worst thing about this case.
Absolutely not. Not at all. Great point, Andy. But 10 hours from this point, she will be dead. So let's rewind, okay? Liese Dodd was born in Alton, Madison County on August 14th, 1999. She was very smart, very enthusiastic kid. She loved animals. For her 10th birthday, instead of asking for presents, she actually wanted to organize a fundraiser for Riverbend Humane Society, which is a local no-kill animal shelter in Jerseyville.
That's a hell of a 10-year-old thing to do.
It is, right?
That sounds like one of those things that like you would see on like a future like senator's resume or some shit. Like someone's running for office and they're like, and my 10th birthday, I organized a humane shelter.
Right. And this is in 2009 too. Mm-hmm. For her to be like that into it, maybe she had like family members or something, or maybe they adopted shelter animals. I mean, you go to the shelter once or twice as a kid, it's something that kind of sticks with you.
Yeah.
I remember going to the shelter. Yeah, absolutely. So this was in 2009 that she did this, but she continued to have a caring attitude all the way throughout her teenage years. She looked out for other people. She graduated from Jersey Community High School in 2017, and she worked at Dairy Queen, where customers remember her as, very nice, very friendly, very bubbly type of server.
That's where I had my first job.
Yeah, right on, dude.
First job ever was a Dairy Queen.
Hey, man, ain't nothing wrong with the Dairy Queen. She was actually saving up for a medical field degree like her mom did, but in June of 2022, she was also 8 months pregnant. So she was kind of putting that on hold, prioritizing, buying things for the baby, all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Still while trying to work. But.
Right, exactly. And at this time, they knew the baby was going to be a girl. They didn't have a name for her yet. But the family was especially her family and Deundrea's, honestly, were being super supportive. They were giving her all types of gifts. And in the documentary, you see all these things that were bought for the baby. And you can just see all the support that she had. And then yet they still didn't know what was going on the inside.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. But Liese was in an on-again, off-again relationship with a man named Deundrea Holloway. He was also an Illinois native. Deundrea is the same age as Liese. They've been seeing each other for a while, probably around 2 years at this time. Now, Deundrea had his share of issues, especially mental issues, but he used drugs. He had a difficult home life. This was all according to his half-sister, PJ. PJ also told the police, quote, he moved out when he was about 18. He's 21 now, and he pretty much lives with his girlfriend, but whenever they get into it, he hops around to different people's homes, right? So he kind of had like this rambler lifestyle too. And sometimes he would take Liese with him. There were times where, I don't know, maybe they got kicked out, maybe they were in between rentals, or for whatever reason, Liese would travel around with them sometimes. And at one point, according to her old boss at Dairy Queen, the couple were actually homeless, and they were living in a tent out by Lake Litchfield.
Yeah, that was one of the things that caught me too. I was like, no, it's not just him dipping out. Like if at some point, like she goes with him, like she rides along with him, and they become homeless together.
Yes.
They're not just couch surfing. They're living out of their car in a tent.
Now, I would suspect this is before she was pregnant.
I think so.
I would think so, yeah. But here's a quote from her old manager at Dairy Queen. She did tell me that she had some problems with her boyfriend, him hitting her, and they were actually homeless and were living out at a campground by the lake. But then at the start of 2022, they moved into the apartment building in Alton, but things weren't going well here either. Liese called into work a lot, claiming that it was for personal issues, things that, she didn't want to disclose to her boss, or she would show up anyway with black eyes or bruises on her arms and wrists. Liese's boss once even caught one of these altercations in person and on camera.
Well, they said that it was on camera, but it wasn't enough to be seen.
Exactly.
Like the CCTV footage, because that's what her boss wanted to just go to the cops immediately. She's like, we got it on footage. Like he punched you in the face.
Yeah.
And then they go back and look, and the camera's like catching the top of the car. Like
exactly.
It's like, God damn it.
Yeah. But her manager and her coworkers all saw Deundrea punch Liese in the face while sitting in their car in the parking lot. Now, I don't know if she was on break or if he was just coming to drop her off or what, but he was in the driver's seat at this time. And like Andy said, the camera's it wasn't a good angle and it wasn't good definition on the camera, so they weren't able to actually get this evidence to do anything at that time. Man, if they could, though.
Oh, it would have been, like I said.
This could be a different story, or they could have just grabbed him, put him in there for the night. He's back out. Now he's even angrier, and this happened sooner. You really don't know.
Yeah, he's very unpredictable.
Exactly. But the coworkers did see it happen. And they said that when Liese came back into work, her face was red and swollen. Mm-hmm. On another occasion, in July 2021, Liese was in the hospital. She had to be hospitalized after Deundrea broke her nose and gave her 2 black eyes. There was also another time where they were seen arguing in the street, and a witness saw Deundrea punching himself in the face as if to punish himself, right? Or does he do this to make it look like she attacked him as well?
I think
what I'm saying? I struggled with this, Andy. This beating himself up. It's like he always did it at a time where he felt like he couldn't do anything else. He felt powerless.
Yeah, I felt like he did because after what you see him do once he's detained, I feel like he has like an uncontrollable urge to hurt himself. Like, I think that he's punching himself because he has so much rage that he's just hitting whatever he can.
Right.
Because when you see him get taken in later on, he just starts headbutting the wall and laughing and literally they have to restrain him from hurting himself. So I'm like, I feel like maybe this was just an early sign of him doing that. Like of him just attacking himself in the street.
Okay. Possibly. Yeah. Just a self-destructive.
Yeah.
maneuver.
I have to destroy something.
I got it. But it got really bad to the extent that in September of 2021, Liese texted her boss. She said, "My boyfriend beat me again, and I had to go to my mom's. They're wanting me to stay in a safe place because he's threatened to harm us." And Liese and her family are not the only ones Deundrea has threatened. He actually has had a restraining order out against him from his own mother.
Yeah, we find that out later on.
Yeah. He threatened to kill her and his sisters and his stepdad, like everyone. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But yeah, this situation didn't last. Liese and Deundrea were back together very soon. And in May, Deundrea introduced Liese to his half-sister, PJ. According to her, Deundrea was the father of Liese's baby, according to PJ. Yeah. Right? Now, he'd also been texting a friend around this time about his mental state, how he was feeling. And on June 5th, he wrote, "I feel like it's all the emotions I've ever put to the side just coming out now at once for real. My cup filled up and now it's gotta spill over. I don't know how to let out emotions without snapping or crying because I'm too pissed to talk," end quote. Mm-hmm. And
I think he said something.
That's very telling right there.
There was one more thing he added too, where he said something about like he felt like he was forced to grow up too fast, or he felt like he was forced to be a man when he wasn't ready to be, or something like that.
Obviously, you're still not ready to be. You haven't acted like a man yet.
Yeah, you're 21 or what? It's like you either like.
I thought that was funny too. That's why I left it out of here because, Yeah, he said, I've always been forced to make man decisions and be a man. And it's like, well, you're still not one. So
You're not making man
you're
decisions.
not making, you haven't made any.
You're making
what I
very
can
childish
tell.
decisions.
Exactly. But on Tuesday, June 7th, Deundrea went missing. PJ added Liese on social media, and the family they all tried to search for him. On June 7th, she wrote, "You think he'd just leave like this?" This is Liese, right? Mm-hmm. She texted her mom, "You think he'd just leave like this?" And then later she wrote, "I think I got left."
Yeah. Because he disappears for a while. He doesn't take his phone with him.
Right.
He just leaves at in the afternoon or the evening one night, and no one knows where he is for like days.
Right.
And so yeah, it's normal for him to like kind of dip out after a fight, but usually he's only gone for like hours. And now but now it's been over a day or so and no one's heard from him because he doesn't have his phone.
Yeah.
So no one knows where he is. This is actually like almost in the lead up to what happens, this is one of those things where it's like, what happened during these few days? Like that.
Right. Was he psyching himself up to do it, or was he trying to convince himself not to?
Possibly, because he's with his uncle, it turns out to be.
Yeah.
But it's like, God, what were you doing over those like 2 days, however long you were gone, that when you got back, this is the end thing, the end game.
Right.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with discounts that are easy to come by. In fact, 99% of their auto customers earn at least one discount. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Well, during this time, Liese's mom texted her. She said, if this is how it's meant to happen, her name's Heidi, by the way. She says, if this is how it's meant to happen, at least it was nonviolent. And then her mom texted, you've been set free. To which Liese replied, I'm not seeing it that way yet.
Yeah.
Right? She's seeing like, well, now I don't have any help taking care of this baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then Heidi asked, did he talk about anything going on or what he wanted to do? But Liese didn't answer. Later, she just replied, I broke a razor down and cut my leg because I told him I was going to kill myself. And then her mom just quickly replies, why were you going to kill yourself? Just this response right here is very telling.
Yeah.
Right? She's like, okay, why were you going to kill yourself this time? That's what it feels like.
It does. It does feel like at this time.
It does.
Because the fact that you didn't call your daughter immediately when she said that, it gives off the appearance of you've heard this before. It's
Exactly.
not something that's that big of a red flag or that big of a thing where you're like, okay, like why?
Exactly. But then Liese did reply to, why. She said, because I just can't get it right. And it's like, man, don't you just want to shake people in like early 20s and be like, nobody knows what to do. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
No one's getting it right.
Nobody's getting it all right. Nobody's getting even most of it right. We don't know what we're doing.
Your
Nobody
life
does.
is a series.
It's okay.
Your
You're
life is a
supposed to feel this
series of
way.
mistakes.
Right. But in the end, Heidi convinced her that stressing out would not help her baby at all. Right. So eventually, Liese calms down. She goes to bed. She goes on a little night drive at about 1:39 a.m., probably just trying to relax, right? Then the next morning at 7:06, she texts her mom again, still no Deundrea. So she goes through her morning routine, washes clothes, her work clothes or whatever. It's a normal day. But she still felt like something was wrong, right? So her mom's like, well, you could call APD and ask if he was arrested or ask your landlord if he saw anything on the cameras, right? Because the landlord, like Andy talked about earlier, he has cameras all around the property. Oh, no, we were talking about at the store at the Dairy Queen. But the landlord at the duplex, they basically live in a duplex. He has cameras all around it as well.
Yeah.
So they don't have access to that, but he does. And he can't see inside the house, but he can see the comings and goings.
Yep. He has like one on the front. He has like one camera on the porch looking at the front door, and then one camera like on the porch looking out towards like the walkway.
Right.
Like, it's very well covered.
Absolutely. So the landlord does help her out. He said that Deundrea had gone out with his uncle, Marty, his dad's brother, on Tuesday evening. And it was like around 6:24 when he left the apartment. So basically the whole day goes by, and then finally, out of the blue, Liese gets a text message from Deundrea's uncle saying that he was going to bring Deundrea back and everything was fine. But ignoring this, now having confirmation that Deundrea was with his uncle, Liese just goes and picks him up.
Yeah.
Right? They could actually be seen on the footage, the surveillance footage, arriving back at their apartment at around 9:11. And Liese texted her mom while in the car, because her mom had been texting her, "Are you okay? You know, what's going on? Give me updates." And she said, "I'm trying to figure it out."
Yeah. Because I think the uncle brought him back, but not to his house. I think he brought him back
They
to
probably met somewhere.
Yeah, I think he brought him back to like his mom's area or something like that.
Yeah.
Or like, and he's just...
I know that's a confusing part of the story, but it really doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, she just goes and gets him immediately. He's like, no, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, exactly. But at 10:49 that night, Liese's mom texts her one more time. She says, "Are you okay?" But she got no reply, because by then Liese was already gone. But over the next few hours, various neighbors come and go. Neither Liese nor Deundrea are seen again until 11:57 p.m. when Deundrea finally comes out of the house. He's carrying a white laundry basket, and then he carries it over beside Liese's car, and he kind of just stands there for a minute like he forgot something, right? And then right now he's wearing dark shoes and a face covering. Mm-hmm. Then he goes back inside, comes out a few minutes later, again carrying the laundry basket. But instead of walking to the car this time, he walks out of frame. He goes around the corner to a smoke shop, which at the back of the smoke shop, there is a large dumpster that's being used, I guess, for like construction, renovation or something.
There's a construction site right nearby.
Right. And then at right around midnight, we can see this white laundry basket being thrown into the dumpster, because where the camera is, Deundrea walks around the other side of the dumpster, so you can't see him. You just see this basket fly up over the side.
Yep.
And then you see the clump of clothes, right? Now, this laundry basket, as the police will later discover, actually contains Liese's head. Mm-hmm. Just 2 hours later, her car is gone from the parking lot. Deundrea has taken it, and he went to his mother's house. What's crazy is he shows up at 2:30 in the morning and just starts banging on the door. This is actually his grandmother's house, not his mother's house. I misspoken. I'm sorry. He goes to his grandmother's house because his mother has a restraining order against him.
Yep.
So he shows up at 2:30 in the morning, banging on the door. His sisters said he appeared extremely nervous. And the next morning, he was in the bathroom cutting off his dreads and asking for a change of clothes. And when they were like, "Well, what's going on?" he was like, "I just need a fresh start."
Yeah, and that was one of the things that really kind of caught their eye, because he'd been growing his hair out for years.
Yeah.
And he had pretty long dreads.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 years, yeah.
And so he's just cutting them in the bathroom sporadically, and doing it really rushed. And and his sisters are all asking him what is going on? At first he takes his clothes off, and doesn't put them in the laundry. His grandma was like, "Oh, I'll wash them for you." And he's like, "No, don't. I'll take these outside."
Right.
And takes them out to the trash.
Yeah.
And puts them beside the trash, and then comes back and he's like, I need some more clothes. I need some new clothes.
Yep.
So it's this whole very erratic behavior. This very nervous.
Yeah,
he's very
said he
just
was nervous the whole time.
He's like, I just need to. I gotta keep moving. I'm gonna go cut some grass. I gotta go to work. That's what I think. That's literally how he leaves. He's just like, I'm gonna go cut some grass.
Exactly.
And they're like, fucking where?
Yeah, they were suspicious of a lot of stuff, right? Like his behavior, but it was also weird that he was driving his girlfriend's car, without his girlfriend.
Yeah.
That was something he didn't do. Also, his grandmother said that he had her, Liese's ID, her debit card, and her keys. He gave them to her to hold for him.
Yeah.
And she's like, why do you have them?
Yeah, he's like, what? What did he say? But he said he found the keys
on the ground.
On the ground.
But when she asked about the ID and the debit card, he just kind of stares.
Yeah, he's like,
she said he just looked like he was in a daze. And so she was like, okay. And then, like Andy said, he just leaves. He's like, I'm going to go cut some grass. And he just walks away, leaves the car, parked in the yard with a sale for sale sign written in the window.
He went and got a piece of notebook paper and wrote for sale.
Why would you want to draw more attention to the car? You can't sell it, bro. You don't have the title.
Yeah.
You can't sell it.
I think he's trying to he's not in the right state of mind anymore. His mental state is failing him at this point.
Absolutely.
So it's either he's trying to think it's one of the options. He's either thinking he can get some quick cash from this car and run away with it, or he can make people not think this is the car
because
and
it's for sale.
It's somebody else's car. It's for sale, sitting out here. That's not her car.
Right. Well, meanwhile, Liese's mom, Heidi, has had enough, and she shows up at Liese's house and is faced with every parent's worst nightmare. And guys, at this point, I'm just going to play the 911 call. And fair warning, it is graphic.
Yeah, it's rough.
All right, here we go.
911, what's the address?
Yeah. Hi. Listen.
What's going on?
My girlfriend's daughter is killed. Yeah.
What's going on there?
My girlfriend, I'm sorry, my daughter's, she chopped her head off. Got a message from her last night.
When was the last time? What time did you last hear from her?
It was like 9:05 or so. I had sent her a text, and she said they were talking. And then I tried again at 10, and she didn't answer. And then I tried this morning 2 times, and she didn't answer. And so then I came over here because she usually answers.
Okay. So last time we talked to her was last night when she sent your text message, right?
Yes.
Okay. The officers are coming. They'll be there shortly, okay?
I know.
Okay. Okay.
So also, around this time, the police are tracking down various members of Deundrea's family, like his mother, for instance. And she said the last time she heard from Deundrea, he said, quote, "I love you guys, but I'm coming back to kill you."
Yeah, that's
End
when
quote.
she got that restraining order put against him.
Exactly. So what actually happened inside the apartment between the couple? You know what I mean? Happened at around 9:11 p.m. And then Deundrea coming out just before midnight. Well, their downstairs neighbors have been friends of Deundrea and Liese for a while.
Yeah, friends, yeah.
Friends, yeah. And,
They've
they
been
hang out occasionally.
Yeah, they smoke on the porch together sometimes.
Right, yeah, I think so. But they have been privy to a lot of their relationship issues. Let's put it that way. And we have a great quote from one of their neighbors that is probably about as detailed of an account of what happened as you're going to get.
Yeah.
So here we go. She says, quote, "Well, the past few days they've been arguing, and that's nothing new. They fight like they used to fight all the time, and it would be loud fighting, and we actually had to call the cops on them before because I don't know who it was, but somebody picked something up and slammed it against the wall. We assumed it was one of them throwing each other. Last night, it was different. I got home from work around 9:30, and their front door was cracked, which is unusual. And I heard muffled yelling, like not screaming, but yelling in a way, kind of like in pain, like you just snipped your finger with scissors and you had to put something over your mouth so you wouldn't scream too loud. Our apartment was shaking. Then all of a sudden, the screaming got really, really loud and really intense. And then we heard like 5 or 6 loud thuds, and they got louder and louder each time. It sounded like someone chopping wood. And it had like 4 or 5 or 6 of those beats, and then it just stopped. The screaming stopped. The sound stopped. The shaking stopped. Everything stopped."
Yeah, and like it's so horrifying to know what that sound was, because during the whole time when that quote is being said, there's also a cop who's asking her some questions and like kind of leading into not leading the questions, but like asking her what did it sound like, and that's what she comes up with, like it sounded like chopping wood, and
right, yeah.
And it's like that's when you come to realize that was literally him chopping her head off
with a knife too. It's strange because the knife is found in the dumpster later by a contractor.
Yeah.
Okay, and it is covered in blood, but it's like
a steak.
It's like a steak knife.
Mm-hmm. So the force in which he would have been having to, like, I don't know how he was doing it, to be fair, with that kind of knife, but he must have been stabbing like just full on force down to get through that with a steak knife. Because it's like I would have when they said they was chopping wood, I was assuming they were going to find like a meat cleaver somewhere or a hatchet somewhere as well,
or an axe. Yeah,
but like
exactly.
No, they only find a bloody knife, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So now with all of this building up, all this evidence, all this testimony, at around 9:30 p.m. on June 9th, the police execute a search warrant on Deundrea's grandmother's house. And in the trash can outside the house, just like PJ said, they find his discarded clothing. The same thing he was wearing on the footage when he was carrying the basket. Mm-hmm. And they also find his cut-off dreadlocks, which he wrapped up in toilet paper.
Yeah.
To try to hide them.
Yeah, good hiding spot.
But there's... Yeah, it just
burn
didn't make sense. Yeah. But there's no sign of Deundrea himself. But at 1:45 a.m., the early hours of June 10th, the investigators receive a phone call from Gillespie Illinois Police Department. That afternoon, they took a John Doe into custody, whom they later, actually very quickly, recognized as none other than Deundrea Holloway. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they arrested him in possession of good old cannabis, Andy.
This was the one part
by the stank.
This was the one part of the entire documentary where you had to kind of think about it. And you're like, okay, you see all the cops that have arrested him, and you're like, it feels like it was racist, but like he got stopped he got arrested for marijuana or something like that. But he's like. Yeah. He's got like his shirt like halfway off and it's like around his neck. And he's got his hands behind his back and he's like arguing with the cops. And like, this guy asked me, but was this? And he's like, I asked him, was I being detained? And he was like, no. And I'm like, then why am I doing? Am I being detained? No. Am I being arrested? No. And he's like basically providing like a legitimate argument almost to be like, yeah. And the cops are just like, no, sit down. Like you're fine, sit down. And he's like, bitch, I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of good that he was that confrontational because if he wasn't, they may have let him go on a charge, or maybe just throw him in jail or whatever.
Yeah, they may not
held
have
him for a night. But because he was so confrontational, they're like, okay, what is with this guy?
Yeah, who
we
are
need
you?
to look into this, right? Because he's behaving extremely manically. He's pacing around. He's repeatedly questioning officers. At one point, he actually starts to laugh and he starts banging his head against the wall.
Yeah,
and that's when the officers have to take pretty extreme measures to hold him down because he's inconsolable. Yeah, absolutely.
And he keeps yelling at them that he's gonna get out.
Yeah, he's gonna get out, right?
Yeah.
He's like, my folks are coming for me, and the officers are like, well, we don't know who you are, so we haven't notified anybody.
Yeah.
So who are you? Who are your folks? He's like, and then we'll tell them. It's like, oh yeah, sure, but.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/listen and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/listen.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
But the investigators from Alton quickly showed up, and they arrested Deundrea on suspicion of Liese's murder. Then they carry out a warrant for DNA, fingerprints, and all types of other samples on the crime scene. And around midday the next day, June 10th, just 24 hours after the discovery of Liese's body, the investigators sit down with Deundrea for an interview. But it is no good.
This is one of the most annoying interviews.
It's interesting, though, because the police redacted the sound. Right? Mm-hmm. So you only get to see how he's acting in his body language. You can't hear anything the officer's saying. You can't hear anything Deundrea is saying, which I don't like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I mean, if you're going to release the footage. I get it. He was no help, but I want to hear it.
It's such an annoying interview. Like the notion that, you only see his reaction. You don't hear what they say.
He probably said some shit that could have gotten one of the cops in trouble.
Possibly.
And they were like, just redact the whole thing. He said nothing useful.
Yeah.
Well, nothing useful to this case.
Hey, I know you. You that one cop who told me about that one thing?
Yeah.
I know. I remember you.
Redact it.
Yeah, I sold you that stuff that one time.
Uh-oh.
We're going to redact all this. Yeah, he's just crazy.
He's crazy. He wasn't being useful.
But yeah, I was like, it's such an annoying interview. And then because also he does this for like a very little amount of time, and then just very quickly it's just like, can I talk to a lawyer? The cop's like, God damn it.
Yeah, right. He acts all disassociated for like the first whole part, talking about, well, I got to go to work, I got to do this. Like he just can't grasp the situation. Then he's like, can I get a lawyer?
Yeah, it's like
he had a moment of lucidity, right?
Or it's at a moment of like, y'all ain't buying this. All right, I'm
let me get a lawyer.
I'm gonna get a lawyer then. This ain't going right.
Yeah. So at that point, the interview was over. But on June 13th, Deundrea was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of intentional homicide of an unborn child, desecration of a human body, offenses relating to motor vehicles, and concealment of homicidal death. And his bond was set at $2 million. Some people were surprised he even got a bond.
Yeah, I didn't think he would.
Right, I know, right? But Deundrea's stepfather, Chris Hawk, he took to YouTube and kind of like a video log style video, spoke his family's side. Right?
A little
spoke
bit, yeah.
for his family's side, and basically the conclusion was, he says, our system fails people with mental problems. I've grown up in an environment with mental problems, and people are kind of left on their own, and it's a tragic situation. And, you know, he said that him and his family have trying to get Deundrea help for years and years for his mental issues. And because they only had verbal threats, they only had, you know, minor incidents to call to. It's almost like, oh, he hasn't killed anybody, so what are you worried about?
Yeah, he hasn't done anything yet.
That's kind of the vibe you get from it, right? It's like they saw this coming and still were unable to get help.
Yep.
That's a very important part of this case. So it's one of the reasons I decided to do it in the first place. But Deundrea also refuses to attend his virtual court appointment, which they set for him on June 14th, and the officers had to forcibly restrain him and bring him to court, and it is a disturbing scene. I mean, it looks like something out of like Hannibal Lecter, dude.
Yeah.
Like the way, it's just, they got a cloth over his face, dude. It's just, his hands are tied, no shirt. Like, what the heck is this, dude?
Yeah, it's very dehumanizing.
It's, I don't know.
Like, I didn't even know that was an option. Like, I know obviously it's not an option, but just like the fact that it's like, he refused to go to court. It's like, you could do that?
Yeah.
It's like, apparently not.
Well,
apparently
you
not.
can, and then be found mentally unfit to stand trial, right?
Yeah.
Which is what he was. And then he started undergoing treatment at a state institution in hopes that he would regain his competency so they could actually charge him.
Yeah.
But in January 2024, he entered a guilty plea. And January 17th of 2025, he was sentenced to 60 years in prison. This includes 30 years on the murder charge, 20 on the homicide charge, and 10 on the concealment charge to be served consecutively. He'll have to serve at least 52 years before he's eligible to be released. I can't believe he could be eligible to be released. You know, he's only 20-something.
Yeah.
Right?
And they said it was like because it's Illinois' law, because they couldn't charge him with double homicide because of the baby. Even though the baby was like 8 months old and she was pregnant, they couldn't charge him with double homicide, which could have brought the death penalty.
Right.
And it's like, because they couldn't do that, that's why they tried to hit him with as much as they could consecutively.
Right.
It's like, we can't put you away for life or the death penalty.
Right.
So it's like, we're going to try and get you with every fucking crime, like the vehicle stuff, the hiding of like all these, like hiding a weapon, like just anything we can find. We're getting you with that.
Yep. Exactly. They had to. But the worst part about it is that we're left to speculate as to why. Obviously, it could be, the stress of the relationship, right? The commitment, or maybe the fact that it was failing, whatever. Maybe this was just a continued pattern that got out of hand. And Liese happened to be the person that was in front of him.
Yeah.
And took the brunt of his anger. Or it could be something more complex, like he was jealous that she was having another man's baby.
Yeah. We don't know if that was his baby.
It was always, there was no DNA done on the baby as far as I could find. I looked and looked. So I don't know. We really don't know. But Liese's mom wrote on their GoFundMe page, she says, "This sentence brings some resolution to a heinous crime. No sentence or amount of time will bring my daughter or granddaughter back, but this sentence should ensure he's not able to hurt anyone else. As I mentioned in the previous update, my donations received will be donated to our local domestic violence resource. So, yeah, man, that's the story of Liese Dodd. It's tragic. It's really a case of extreme mental illness.
Yeah, it very much is, because like the fact that his family knew that these things were already going on with him, and it also, not to blame on the family, but it's like if you know that somebody is like is approaching just that mental illness cliff of like they're making threats to people, they're acting like manically, they're doing these kind of unstable things. It's like, it's almost like I feel like you have a little bit of a responsibility to the other people to be like, hey, okay, we need to either rein him in or get like, the other people away from him. Like if his stepdad knows that he's got all these issues, why is his like? There's a little bit of like, are you not going to protect the woman who's carrying his child?
But
like,
how can you protect her when she keeps running back to him? There were plenty of times where her family was trying to protect her.
Mm-hmm.
There were times where the police told her, you need to go to your family's house to be safe, and she would just go back.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't keep an adult from going into danger.
Mm-hmm. And we see that so often. We see people who just go right back to bad situations. They go right back to abusers, and it's like I said, I don't want to blame anybody in the situation other than the fucking, the guy who did it. But just thinking about how, like, if you guys knew that this man was unstable, like, I hate the fact there was not more that could have been done. Like the stepfather says, like the system fails people with mental illness.
It does.
And it's like that they've been trying to get him help for years and nothing has worked. So it's like, God, is that really where we're at now? Where it's like, we know somebody is a danger to society, and yet they don't do anything until they've already committed the dangerous act.
That's usually how our society works. I mean, like, you think about it, they don't put in safety measures until somebody dies. You know what I'm saying? They don't ban this until somebody dies. They don't create this cure until somebody dies. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, but
yeah, it really is.
Violence and tragedy create change.
Unfortunately,
it just sucks we have to wait that long for it.
Yeah.
But you can change your deodorant without any violence.
Oh my God, it'd be so smooth.
Yes, so smooth. A smooth change. Like the change you should make to Oh My Gaia. Oh My Gaia is an innovative, all-natural deodorant, fragrance, and beard oil company specializing in paraben and aluminum-free products. Guys, there's tons of scents to choose from at ohmygaia.com. That's ohmygaia.com. There's vanilla, there's cherry almond, sandalwood, lavender, lemongrass, Egyptian musk, coconut, dreamsicle, leather, lumberjack, honeysuckle. There's sweet pea, sailor, barbershop. We even have our own scent called True Crimepine, for Christ's sakes. True Crimepine. Speaking of Crimepine, you can use the code word Crimepine with no spaces, CRIMEPINE, for 15% off your order at ohmygaia.com. That's ohmygaia.com. Don't forget to use that code word Crimepine. It is spelled out right below the description of this episode if you just want to, be lazy and copy and paste. I like to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Why
by trying to type stuff out?
Why risk a typo?
Seriously. But guys, don't forget to check out Patreon, patreon.com/truecrimeguys, the absolute wheels of this podcast and the best way to support what we do here at TCG Productions. For just $3 a month, you guys can get access to these episodes early, ad-free, with bonus content. All right, it's patreon.com/truecrimeguys. Link right below the description of this episode. But guys, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave a review on whatever platform you're on. Give us a follow on social media. We're on the TikTok. We're on the Threads. We're on the Gram. We're on the Book. Mm-hmm. We're on the YouTubes.
Which we are.
Yeah, we're on all the things. So guys, we appreciate you listening, and tell a friend. All right. But until next week, I guess you have to keep on creeping.
Bye.